Hey everybody, it's Alphonse Gettler with John L. Scott Real Estate in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to answer the question today that a lot of people are asking, clients and friends. Why are home prices so high right now? If you're a home owner, that's awesome, and if you've been in it for a while, you've built up a lot of equity, and we love seeing prices go up, up, up. But if you're a new home buyer, it's really tough and it's hard to understand exactly what happened and how do we get where we're at. So today we're going to dive into that. So let's take a look at a couple charts here that are going to help us understand. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Case-Shiller Index, and this is just a median of home prices back in time from 1988 through present day. And you can see this upward trend where it really emphasizes the point that real estate is one of the best investments that you can make over time. It's always going to increase in value. And well, not always. During this recession of '08, we saw home values decline, and it took about 4 years to get out of that, but then they've continued to rise. And then, boy, look at this hockey stick since the pandemic, up and to the right. And that, as a homeowner, is what we love to see. But as a buyer, is what makes it so hard to buy a home right now because prices are so high. So that's the first chart we're going to look at. The second chart we're going to look at comes to us from RPR, from a Realtor Properties Resources. And you can see that we're beating the national average, which is the red line. We're the blue line. And over time, home values in Portland have definitely been higher than the national average, but we can see this up and to the right. And this only is back from '08, actually, just so you know. But we see home values, how they've increased. And again, hockey sticking up since January or about spring of 2020, really. And 12-month change in home values in Portland, relatively flat. We'd call that flat. Didn't really go up. We didn't go down. And month over month, so November to December, we went down 1.1%. So it's really, we just consider that flat. Um, so let's take a look at the next chart, which is really going to get into the answer to our question today as to why are home prices so high. Well, it really has a lot to do with interest rates. And this is a chart of the interest rates. And we can see this is recent. Let's go back in time to before the early '70s. So this really gives us a good view of interest rates where back in the early '80s they were almost at 20%. I mean, look at that, 18.2% in November of '81. And so over time, interest rates have really, if you average it out, it's about 8%. I mean, we saw the lows in 21 of 2.6%, and I'm going to squeeze this again here. Just bear with me a second. So yeah, during again, the gray area is a recession period. The Fed was worried that we were going to get into an extended recession because it was COVID and nobody was going out and nobody was buying anything and nobody was eating. So one of the best ways to stimulate the economy is with the housing market because it affects so many other different pieces of our economy. And so when you continue to lower the interest rates, you start to give away money practically for free. And that led to more people buying because everyone had cash and everyone could afford more, and you had just this tremendous demand, and people were moving, people were selling, people were refinancing, people were buying homes in bidding wars, and people were they were there were no contingencies. People weren't even asking for inspections. It was just this was the Wild West. This was the crazy time. It was great for real estate agents. They made a lot of money then. People moved into different houses, and really it was all about the monthly payment, which is what when we talk about the interest, it's how much are you paying on that big loan every month, and the lower the mortgage rate, the lower you're going to be paying every month, and that was really attractive to people. But For the economy, that drove inflation sky high. All of our food costs went up, dining went up, car prices, loans, everything went up. We had to, the Fed had to raise interest rates to sort of rein in the economy. And by raising the interest rates, we got up in November to just below 8%. And now we're down a little below 7%. And this is probably where interest rates are going to stay. So the answer to the question of why are our home values so high, it's because it had to do with the pandemic and the Fed lowering interest rates, the effect that that had, giving everybody money, everyone buying houses, creating huge demand. Now, why are houses still remaining at these high values has to do again with demand and supply, and there is still a demand for homes, and there's a limited supply. So even though interest rates are high and people don't want to get out of their low interest rate loans, so less people are moving, there's still a market. There's always a market. You know, there were even though it was the worst year last year in 2023, we sold less than 4 million homes resale. It was a little over 4 million when you include new construction. That was the worst year we've had in years. And if, for example, we are anticipating this year at least 1 million more homes will be bought and sold in 2024. So please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming up in the future. And keep in mind that I can really cater these charts to your neighborhood, to your zip code, and I'm happy to give you a home valuation if you want that as well. That's all for free. So have a great day. Bye, everybody. Thanks.